Hi children, good day to all of you. Let's come back to our science class. So after 1 week, after long holidays, we are coming back to our second term, isn't it? So let's start our class with a prayer. Oh God, bless all of us so that we may learn the subjects better and do our duties well. Yes. So there was a long gap in between and all have written the exams well, everything, isn't it? You've got the marks. Shall we move to the next chapter? It's not next chapter, it's a continuation of our third chapter itself. Which was the third chapter? Do you remember? Yes, about the birds. Yes. So, before the school closed, ma'am had given a small work. Do you remember it? What was it? A few of them had sent me that video. Not video, image of that birds. Take the, find out, observe the birds in your surroundings. Take a snap of it. Find out which bird is it. Yes, those who have not done it, please do it and give me. Okay. Now, what were the things we have learned in that chapter about the birds? Yeah, the body parts of birds. Yeah, the three main body parts. Then how do the birds fly? What helps the birds to fly? These were the things we have learned. Again, we will see what the next one. What are food items? Yes, the birds are eating. All the living things. We know the one feature of the living things, they need food. Same way, the birds also need food to live. Yes, so in this class, we will learn the food habits of birds. Yes, and also where do they live? Where do they live? And they also are communicating with each other. They are also talking with each other, but not like us, not like this. How do they talk? Yes, they use different sounds, different types of sounds to know, tell the others what is happening around them. They are using different sounds. These are things what you are going to see in this class. So first we will go to the food habits of birds. Yes. Do all birds eat the same kind of food? Yes? No. Do we eat the same kind of food? Sometimes, if you are in the class, you know that some of your friends will not be eating chicken or meat, fish they won't like. Some will be vegetarians. Only vegetables they will eat. Some will have both. Same way in the birds also, there are some birds which will have only these plants or seeds. But there are some birds which will eat only not plants, they will eat only the flesh. They will catch the other fish, the other birds or fish. There are some birds which will eat both. Okay, so in the birds also there are different types of the food habits among them. So that is what we are going to see in the page number in your book. Page number 14, you can see the birds given, some of the birds pictures you can see, what they are eating also you can see. And according to what they are eating, their beaks also will be different. You might have seen for the crane, cocker, a long beak. For what purpose? What are they eating mainly? Fish. So they want to catch the fish from the river or sea, wherever it is. So what they need? The long beak. Yes, some will be having sharp beak. Those are eating the flesh, and also according to the food what they eat, their beaks also will be different. So in this we will see which are the different types of birds and what kind of food they are eating. Okay, that is what the first one. So if you can take page number 14 in your text. Page number 14 in your text. Put today's date and we will read that one. Then we will go to the next one. That is the habitat of birds. Where do the birds live? Okay, so first one we will see the food habits of birds. Have you taken the book in your hand? You can take a pencil also with you so that you can mark and keep the important points. Ready? We know that birds have different types of beaks. See, they are given here. Different types of beaks depending on their food habits. But what do birds eat? Birds eat different types of food. Their food includes nectar, the juices from the flowers. That is called the nectar. Then you can underline all those things: fruits, grains, nuts, seeds, meat, fish, small insects and worms. Some large birds also eat other birds. Let us see what birds around us eat. So that is what the next one we are going to see. The first bird, it is given a small bird you can see. Yes, that is a sunbird sucking nectar from the flowers. Next, kingfisher. You can see in your surroundings the kingfishers, the blue color and all. Very nice to see it, isn't it? Kingfishers, they eat fish. Again, eagles and a hawk hunt and eat small birds and animals. Eagle, parindu. So they are eating small birds and animals. Next one, the parrot. What's the color of the parrot? What's the color of the parrot? Green. Have you seen the color of the beak of the parrot? And what's the shape of the beak of the parrot? Have you observed it? Have you seen it? Yes, it's red color. It's red in color. So, what are parrots are eating? Parrots eat fruits, nuts and seeds. They eat fruits, nuts and seeds. Then, sparrows. Sparrows eat seeds and worms. And the last one, vultures. Vultures, they are eating the flesh, the dead animal's flesh. They eat the flesh of the dead animals. Okay, so these are some of the birds. These are some of the birds and their food habits. Okay, so now you can, they've given sunbird, kingfisher, eagles, parrots, sparrows and vultures. Now what you can do is find 3 more birds. Okay, which are in the surroundings, the birds which are in your surroundings. Any 3 more birds and their food habits. What kind of food do they eat? Any 3 common is enough. Don't go to the net and all. In the surroundings, many birds you can see. In that, any 3 birds you find out. Okay, and write the food habits of them. What kind of food do they eat? The bird which are eating the seeds of the or the plants or worms. Yes, the birds which eat, other than the kingfisher, any other bird which are eating the fish. Yes, they like that, which will depend on the flesh of the other animals. Like that, there are many other birds which will eat like that. Okay, only a few have given. So find out a little more. 3 more you have to find out and do it, and that is the work for you this week. Is it clear? So that is what given. Again we come to the habitat of the birds. Habitat means the place where the birds live. The place where the birds live. That is what we are going to see next one. The habitat of birds. Not only the birds live, habitat means the place where we are. Understood? That is the habitat. Now the place where we live, all those. Now habitat of birds means the place where the birds live. Clear? So that is what we are going to see. The next one is habitat of birds. Habitat of birds. Now we are telling most of the birds. Where you can see the birds mostly? Can you see? Pretend the birds on your the surrounding, sitting on the ground and all? No. Only sometimes if they want to catch something, they will come on down. Otherwise, mostly the birds live on the trees. Birds mostly live on trees. At night and all, after evening, you won't see any of the bird here. Only a few, that is bat or owl, you can see out. Otherwise, at night, you can't see any bird lying and sleeping in the ground. Mostly they will living on mostly they live on trees. Birds mostly live on trees. Yes. Mostly live on the trees. And there are birds. The birds, they are living on the trees. And you know that in your imagination, the birds, they are living in the nest. Yes. Why do this nest actually? It is not for them to live in it. What is it for? It is for them to lay eggs. When it's time for them to lay the eggs. For the small baby to come out, baby bird to come out. Isn't it? At that time only they are building the nest. For what purpose they build the nest? They build the nest to lay the eggs. Yes, to lay the eggs, feed their young ones. For mainly they are giving for building the nest for giving birth to the young ones, to look after the young ones in it, to protect them safely. That is why they are actually building the nest. Understood? So the second one, the nest. For what purpose they are building the nest? Not for these big birds to live in it. Mainly for what purpose they are building the nest? They are building the nest to lay eggs. To lay eggs in it. To feed their young ones. They have to give food to the young ones in it. And also to keep their young ones. Keep them away from harm. Yes, there will be snake or any other birds to come and catch them. So, to keep them safe from all those things, they are building the nest. So, they lay eggs for what? They are to lay eggs, to feed their young ones, and also to keep them safe, from harm. And to keep them safe from harm, they are building the nest. Yes, and have you seen the nest of any of the birds? Have you seen the nest? No. Yeah, crow's nest you might have seen on a tree, what shape of it and all. Now they are beautiful, they are good architects, they are good engineers. The birds are mainly the good engineers. Among the living things, they are the good engineers. They build the nest. With what all things they build the nest? They build the nest using the twigs, then with the grass, then also with the feathers, mud, all these. They will use all those. They pick up from each different parts and they will build different. You can see some pictures of the nest of the birds. Very beautiful. You will be astonished. You will be surprised to see whether the birds only had made these nests. Like that, different shapes. Nice variety shape nest you can see. If you are observing nicely, you can see there are some this architects in our engineers among the birds. Okay, so that is for what purpose they are building the nest? To lay eggs, to feed their young ones, and to keep them safe from harm. And they build nest using the twigs, then grass, mud, feathers. There are many other things also they will be taking for making the nest. Yes. Now we will see here different types of nests made by the birds and some of the examples in our school itself. If don't know whether you remember or not, you have seen a cage that lovebirds and all kept. Have you seen it there itself in near a wash basin where you're washing? There was a nest kept. Remember that it's good shaped nest. That is a nest of the weaver bird. It was a nest of the weaver bird. Have you seen like this somewhat shape? Like this. Nice shape it was. And there's a small hole here. It is a weaver bird's nest. Yes, and it was ready-made thing, but actually it is made by the bird itself. Okay, that is a weaver bird. That's a nest of weaver bird. Some birds' nest you can see here. And there are some birds, some lazy birds are here. One of the lazy bird in our surrounding, that bird will not build the nest. They will not build the nest. Instead, if it is time for them to lay the eggs, it will go to some other bird, which is very hard, very difficultly they have made the nest and kept. In that nest, they will put the egg. Okay, and that bird, that lazy bird is the cuckoo. Have you seen? Cuckoo, it's a good singer. That bird is a very good singer. Kuile. And that one is very lazy to build a nest. It will go and lay the eggs in the crow's nest. Understood? And somewhat they are similar, the eggs are similar. So the crow will not understand whether it is cuckoo's egg or its And only when it comes out, they will understand it. So that is a bird. That is a bird. It is a lazy bird which lay the eggs in the crow's nest. So which is a lazy bird here? Cuckoo, which will not build a nest by itself. It will put the egg in the crow's nest. Poor crow making the nest, and the cuckoo is coming and putting laying the eggs on it. Okay, that is one bird. This is a lazy bird. Others mainly there are some architects. We will see them here. Take page number 15. Page number 15. Habitats of birds. Yes. Birds mostly live on trees. They build nests to lay eggs, feed their young ones, and keep them away from harm. So put in bracket, why do the birds build nest? If a question comes, you have to write this answer. They build nest to lay eggs, feed their young ones, and keep them away from harm. Then, nests are made. What are things they are using to make the nest? Using the grass, twigs, leaves, thread, see thread, straw, mud and feathers. Straw, that is white coal, all those, mud and feathers. Then different birds build different kinds of nests, not the same type of nest. Different types of nests are made by different birds. Some examples of different nests are given below. See the nest. Yes, the first one, what I have told you, that is a weaver bird's nest. You can see the weaver bird's nest. You find this and all, identify the nest and tell which bird had built up this nest. And if a question comes like that, you should be able to tell me. Yes. The next one, tailor bird's nest, that stitched together the leaves. You can see they stitched the leaves together and made that nest. That is a tailor bird's nest. The next is penguin's nest. And the penguin is making the nest using the pebbles, small stones. Okay, so they make the nest using the pebbles. Penguin's nest. And the woodpecker's nest. You might have seen the woodpeckers pecking on the wood, making the small holes on the trees. Yes, so that is a nest made by the woodpecker. Yes, again, some birds do not build nests. For example, the cuckoo. Cuckoos lay their eggs in the nest of the other birds, mainly the crow's nest. Okay, so that is about the habitat of birds. Again, we are seeing how do the birds talk to themselves, among themselves. You might have heard the different sounds made by the birds, but we would understand what kind of sound they are making, all those things. But the birds themselves will understand for what purpose. Sometimes they'll be making very sharp, loud sound. Sometimes very sweet sound. Isn't it? Yes. So, different types of sounds are made by the birds to know, to communicate with each other among themselves. So, that sound they have given here, the different variety of sounds made by the birds. That's what we are going to see here on page number 15 itself. Communication among birds. Have you heard birds making sounds? Some birds make sounds during the sunrise. For example, the cock, you have heard at 5 o'clock time and all, if you get up, you can hear that sound. The cocks making the sound before the sunrise. That was the earlier and all, that was the alarm for the older people. At 5 o'clock time or 6 o'clock by that time and all, this cock and all will get up and will be making that sound. Next, birds make a variety of sounds to talk to other birds. Some of them are given below. First one, sharp, loud sounds are used to warn other birds of danger. They make very big sound to tell the other birds there's some danger here. Don't come this side. So be alert. So for that purpose, they make sharp, loud sounds. All these are important. What kind of sounds used to warn the other birds of danger? It is sharp, loud sounds. Then, second one, young birds make different types of sounds to call out to their parents. Small birds, they will make different types of sounds. They will be mainly the crying sound to call their parents. They will be making the crying sound. Third one, when birds travel in groups, you might have seen in look in the sky, you can see the birds going in the groups. Or when they want to signal to each other, they use different types of sounds. And the last one, some birds sing. Birds use songs to attract the other birds. They also use songs to stop other birds from entering their area or nest. So these are the different sounds made by the birds. Again, you can see Siberian crane, a crane you can see there, and that is a crane, a bird which can travel for a long distance from one country to another country. One is Siberian crane that they are telling, that is you can mark it as important. Siberian cranes travel from Siberia to India in large numbers during the winter season to avoid the extreme cold. From Siberia to India they will travel when it is very cold in that country. That is the Siberian crane. So that much is of this from this chapter. So what all things we have seen? The food, the different types of food, and a work was given to you. Remember it? If you don't remember it, rewind this and see what was the work given. Then habitat of birds. Then communication among the birds. And the last part, what is the next one is how to take care of birds. Nowadays, the birds, taking care of birds around us. The summer season and all, the birds will be starving for water. There won't be water for them. And there are birds which are not getting enough food. All those things. Then, we are killing the birds for many purposes. So, from all this, how we can take care of them around us. That is what the last part, that is page number 16. Yes, we will see that also. There are different types of birds around us. We should take care of them, especially during the hot summer seasons. We can help the thirsty birds by placing bird baths for them. Bird baths. You can see the bird bath kept. So that bird baths are shallow containers, a small container that contain water. So that they can drink water and also they can keep themselves cool, all those things. We can also keep food for them in the bird feeders. The bird feeder picture also you can see. So these are some things you can do to keep our birds around us, to take care of the birds around us. So that's the chapter. Our chapter is over. Yes. So read out this chapter. Read the chapter nicely. From the exam itself you understood how the questions are coming. So most of the things you have to read, then only you will get. And what all things ma'am is telling, that also you have to capture. Understood? So if you want, you can write it and keep as a note in the rough note and all. You can what is ma'am telling and all. So then it will be there in your mind afterwards. Okay. Thank you children. Do the work and submit to me. Okay. Have a nice day.